Men are full of ego. Men are proud beings.
So
all they need is that idea that they are the head.
okay, but they're truly.
And that's it. So you go just they run the guy, do the guy in mathematics. They do your now you see the woman is the head of the family. The man is just a figurehead. Now
like
a woman who is smart. What a woman who is smart does is right. Okay, so you are the head.
Can you not put us out? No, please, just not. You're talking too much. You're putting us out there.
This is Besty and Smoke podcast.
Talking the BS.
Welcome to the Besty and Smoke podcast, the BS podcast, where we provide insight, inspire, and entertain you, because this podcast is about family, friendships, relationships. It's also about self-development and, of course, life survival stories, the ups and downs of life, the times when you fall and then you stand up again and you get burnt down, and like the phoenix, you rise again from the ashes of your destruction. So, my name is Smoke. And of course, I have my co-host, the B in the BS.
Hi, hobby. I mean, I think it's high time when you introduce me, you also include a little, bit of okay, sorry, sir. I know I today do too much.
All right.
I don't have shame sometimes. I'll carry my, my.
It's okay.
Okay,
I forgive you.
What's the okay?
So how are you doing?
That was okay. Well, I'm fine. I'm good.
That was what?
That was I kind of forgot that this is something that it wouldn't be just for us, It would go out there. So I was bringing my attitude. There. So apologies.
Yeah, it's okay. I always talk about being authentic. So your true self is always.
It's easy for you sometimes,
All right.
Especially your authenticity with being vulnerable. It's always top notch. But
I don't really think it's easy for me to be vulnerable.
It's not? Then how do you do it so? Because it's not really an overshare. It is an overshare. But I don't want to make you feel like you overshare, because you overshare for a good purpose.
Like I'm about to talk about a period between the last episode and this episode, okay, that I had to go through that literally changed my life.
I wish you would let me arrive at where I was,
okay, all right.
Because I didn't want it to be like, I didn't want it to seem like I'm trying to, discourage you, or no, I actually love it. It's something I don't have the ability to do. I would love to do it effortlessly, but I just can't bring myself to. There's always something like at the back of my throat holding me back to like.
Yeah, but it happens with me as well. You said that it's easy for me to share, right? Without seeming to put all your business out there. Yeah, I love to do that. But at the same time, just like every other person, I like to maintain my steez. You understand what I'm saying? Stay in
his steez.
Yeah, stay in character, be the dude without, having to make myself seem less than I am.
I think, simply put, you don't overshare the unnecessary. I think it's more of letting your experience paint a clear picture for someone out there, inspire, simply put. I think that's actually what your oversharing does. It's not really like you overshare when you say too much and people are like, don't you know how to keep a secret? No, it's not like that. It's the kind like you actually talk about stuff that makes you human. Okay, stuff that makes you human.
That brings out the humanity in our experiences.
Definitely. And it's a good thing because you find that people connect to that. People connect to that because it makes you human. It makes you relatable. It makes it, it makes you here and here with the audience, not
on the same page.
Painting a fabuloso picture. It's all kumbaya. It's all beautiful. It's not that.
Life
is not
life
that.
is full of dirt.
So when
you roll
share,
in the mud, you stand up.
absolutely. So when you share these moments, it's a good thing. That's why I'm saying that, I want to arrive at it's a compliment. It's not really trying to make you look like, something you're not. Honey, it's something I wish I could do effortlessly.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. I was hoping that I'll be the first person to push a compliment, but there you go. You beat me to the punch, because I was really about to talk about how I have a very fabulous wife, like the greatest wife in the whole wide world. Yeah. Like, take a look at this, man. You see this? This is iced hibiscus tea.
Okay.
All right. This was made especially for me. Okay, has a hibiscus flower, has some bit of ginger, has cloves in it.
Yeah, cloves, cinnamon,
and the rest of it. And I'm adding a bit of osoji in it. That's alligator pepper. In case you don't know, it's called the grains of paradise.
We're trying to watch,
I'm trying to be healthful in the way I move on, going forward. With my life, because
can you talk about why we actually doing this?
Yeah, I discovered a couple of days back, right, between the last episode and this episode, and if I should stretch this a little bit backwards, this is the third episode of
this is the
Besty and Smoke podcast, the BS podcast. We started with starting something new. All right. And hiding a relationship, where we actually revealed that we are married, that we've been married for some time.
Family actually knew about it, but friends, colleagues, they weren't aware at the beginning.
We're not really aware of it. So we brought that out on hiding a relationship.
Yes, we did.
And this is the third episode of the show. And of course, you can catch up. You can go back and either watch or listen to those episodes.
Because this is the story being told, and you wouldn't want to miss out the previous, what led to here. So I suggest and advise that you get to watch the first episode.
If this was the movies you hear last time on or previously on.
Yeah, previously on Besty and Smoke.
That's right. So now back to the question you asked, why I am being more conscious of my health.
I wanted you to explain.
Yeah, I discovered quite accidentally that I was on the verge of developing hypertension, what we call high blood pressure or high BP. Initially, I was having these bouts of intense headaches, migraines, actually. Like I was being stabbed at the base of my skull, right at the point where the spinal cord connects to the skull.
Yeah.
And it was driving me to tears every time I bent over to pick up something or to do whatever.
It was intense.
Yeah, it was that blinding and excruciating, like somebody was stabbing daggers at the base of my spine. Okay. And because I've had this experience where a couple people had issues with their blood pressure, hypertension, and there was an association
with
headaches. Yeah,
intense headache.
Yeah, I decided, you know what, I'm going to check just to be sure.
Yeah.
But funny thing is that about a month or so prior to that time,
we're just messing around.
Yeah, we're messing around with a BP monitor machine.
Yeah,
and my BP was really normal.
Good.
Yeah, like 117 over. I can't really remember the diastolic reading. So I didn't think it was anything to be concerned about. I just wanted to, put a check mark on that. Like, this is not what's happening. So I checked, and the monitor read 162 over 104, which was severe. Way above anything normal. Now, a normal blood pressure reading should be 120 over 80. Okay. Anything above 140 over 90, that means you are actually hypertensive. Okay. Now imagine that I took a reading and I had 162.
Was it 60?
62 over 104. That was a really big number. All right. So I decided to do a little bit of research about it. I did not want to go to the hospital. Now, this is not the right path to take. I know. I should have rushed to the hospital. But something about me is I like to research the living daylight out of stuff.
Do note that this happened at night.
Yeah, it did.
So going to the hospital was
not an option. Yeah.
Okay, so that's why you actually started research. Because Lord knows if it was during daytime, morning time, honey, we are going to the hospital. Okay. I mean, I'm sorry, but it was nighttime, and I felt you were calmer than me. I was already thinking, I mean, this is not something, to joke with. Normal. It was not up to 2 weeks that we were playing around with the monitor and we checked our BP level.
Yeah,
and
it was okay.
It was okay. So why?
I did some research and I discovered that things that put you at risk for high blood pressure are your genetics, whether you have it in your family history, maybe your mom or your dad had it or still has it, that puts you at risk, pushes the possibility of you getting hypertension. And if you are obese, what we call being fat, if you are like that, then you run a risk as well. If you eat a lot of salt, you run a huge risk. And this is where I come in. I love my salt.
I don't know that's actually one of the good stuff about this. The fact that you had to lessen your your sodium intake.
Because I was always liberal with the salt.
Always shaking. It's like person go finish cooking soup.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not praising myself, but I know my way around the kitchen, To you it's tasty.
She does.
Thank you, darling. At a point I realized that that's you.
Yeah, that's me. I love my salt, and I love to be quite,
generous with it. So because of this, he had to stop it.
So had to cut down, like way down, to the point that
God is good.
I'll be eating and I'll be wondering if I'm really eating.
Tasting anything.
Is that crazy? Okay, if you eat a lot of salt, if you consume a lot of salt, you have to cut down on that. It's not healthy. And if you live a sedentary lifestyle,
get more active.
You have to get a bit more active, okay? Walk around. Don't be a couch potato. And I've been doing a little bit of that.
Yeah, I think both of that. And another thing is he wanted to, I'm sorry, say, I think they shall I. Okay. He wanted to now get back to, the workout. He now overdid it.
Yeah, something about me is I overcommit to stuff. Once I want to do something, I dive right in. So I dove into the exercise. Say we die here. Yeah. And my ankles started complaining. And I had to lay off the exercise for a couple of days. I'm still laying off of it. Okay, so the lesson to learn from this is to always go for medical checkup. Especially once you start nudging from 35 upwards to 40 upwards. Always be conscious about your health, because high blood pressure, also known as hypertension, is a silent
killer.
It doesn't have any symptoms. I was lucky to have the headaches, right? It doesn't have any symptoms. It doesn't show any signs. It will keep eroding your system until one day they say he was just talking. Okay. He was just talking and he fell down, or he just went to bed and he didn't come out. That's it. He had a stroke, or he had a blockage in his artery, or something happened. So the takeaway, the good thing for me here is that I've been putting in some lifestyle changes.
You're now conscious
about a lot of things, and my BP has come down considerably.
Beautifully.
Now it's in the normal zone, 120 something. Sometime it nudges to 130.
I'm really proud of you. I am, honestly. I am proud of you.
So
that's actually one good thing about you're a sticker to stuff.
I stick to it.
You stick to stuff, and once you set your mind, on something, you're laser focused.
That's right. So always check yourself out. Right, do it right now. This is Besty and Smoke podcast.
Talking the BS.
It's about life survival stories on the BS podcast, the Besty and Smoke podcast, where we tell you about reality and we inspire you. We provide insight to things you may not know about, or things you might know about, but you've forgotten a little bit about them. We remind you about important things on this platform. So, what's up with you?
Well, everything is up with me. I think I don't know, but I think I'm getting more and more like settling in.
Into what
I mean,
exactly?
someone actually.
Let me take a sip of my wifey brewed
Oh boy.
hibiscus tea.
Okay. Someone actually spoke about us. A friend of ours paid us a visit. That was 3 or 4 days ago. I can't quite remember. And he was like, he's single. He's
Yeah.
single, by the way.
Yeah.
And he was like, he wants
what we have.
Yeah, what we have. And then the next minute we were like on it about going forth and back about something. And he was like, now I don't know what, but you guys are made for each other. Cause we go head to head over stuff. It was something that someone, an observer, okay,
Pointing that
out, you realize that, oh,
Yeah,
it's
there's
not
something
just
special
in your
you have,
head.
yeah.
Okay, it was really something there for reals. So yeah, so that's pretty much something that,
You're proud of.
yes, I was proud of it. I am proud of it. Okay, because it did not just happen like that. It took a lot of us, putting in effort to work, making conscious sacrifices and all to actually arrive at that.
Alterations to individuals hanging together. People are different.
We rub off on one another, right?
Yeah,
We
I
did.
think we do. Sometimes you
So-
rub off on me in a bad way, and I have to,
Excuse me.
take it all in and be the man.
Bad guy. Okay, yes, sometimes.
So, what are we
bad
talking
influence.
about today?
Yeah. Oh boy, today is really something. I have a lot of stories to tell about this because I went through it. Like I have stories to tell about this particular topic of discussion for today. Let's just get into it.
This is Besty and Smoke podcast.
Talking the BS.
Marriage versus dating.
The difference
The difference
between the two.
Now, like in today's world, okay, people get to date, know each other, then marry. Now, marriage, as we know it, is something that people commit to when you believe you've found the one. While dating is that process of getting to know someone, getting to know if you guys, will end up as there were times where people don't even get to date, they just get to marry because, yes, arranged marriage. But in today's society, you get to date countless people, get to know if, you've actually found that person that you're willing to commit to. Now, let's say you have known someone for like 5 years, or you dated somebody for 5 years, and you guys get married. 2-3 months after it, you realize that, oh, it's not as lovey-dovey or as whatever. After the honeymoon period, which every marriage goes through it, you realize that it's not as, or what you had in mind, or the picture you had in mind, or what you thought it was going to be. It's not
The fantasy
Yes,
is not
it's no longer that.
becoming reality.
Thank you very much. Now, marriage on one hand is filled with commitment. I wouldn't say we die here, but it's kind of a step you take when you believe you've found the one. That person that is your missing rib. Some people actually do that for other reasons. Maybe to procreate, to, have a companion. So there are different reasons why people get married.
Why
When
did you get married?
Why did I get married? I was still talking. You're putting me on the spot here, brother.
Yeah, you're talking about the reasons why people get married.
Okay.
And it struck me.
Why did I get married?
Why did you get married?
I think can I tell you the truth?
Please do.
From a young age, marriage wasn't something I was excited. Like young girls growing up, you have that, okay, I want to get married. It was something I was like, okay, it's a norm. You get to a particular
Tradition.
age. Yes.
Okay.
You get a particular age as a woman, you should start thinking about that. For better word, it's something I think more of
You did for your parents.
yes.
That
Something I was intending to, okay, if I'm going to do this one day, I want to do it for the sake of my parents. Not because I wasn't looking to have a good marriage or enjoy my marriage, but it wasn't something I was
what exactly
eager to
about
get
marriage didn't appeal to you?
Oh, I
Because
felt like
for every young girl,
I felt like I didn't need it.
at what point in your life did you realize that marriage wasn't really important to you?
I think I can't really tell. I wanted to have kids, but I don't feel like you needed a man to have that. It wasn't coming from a bad place or an awful experience, maybe with my family or no, my parents, they were beautiful. They had this relationship that when my mom passed away, my dad felt like
he fell apart.
You know. So it wasn't coming from there. It was coming from let's say I didn't want to rely.
You probably did not want to submit to someone else.
Yes, I didn't want to give up because I believe that
your independence would be gone.
Yes, I would. But long story short, I was never intending on, okay, I'll get married because, oh God, I'm so excited about it. No, it wasn't that. It was far from it. It was more of I want to have kids. But from somewhere along the line, it now became a thought of I wanted, I wanted romance. I wanted,
After watching
it wasn't
tons and
it
tons
wasn't
of
after watching
romance.
Yes, I wanted
movies.
No, hold on.
Yeah.
You could get that from relationship. Actually, you can get that from dating more than you can get that from marriage.
Mm-hmm.
So at a point along the line, it became more of the companionship that marriage would actually give, not about the romance anymore. And when I say along the line, I think it was when I met you. I never believed.
Hope you're not trying to bother me up.
No, honey. No. I'm your biggest hater, right? You always accuse me of that, but I hate out of love for you. Tell me you know.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So when I met you, I think that changed everything. It wasn't something that happened like this. Gradually changed
I'm glad I was able to have that impact.
It wasn't just you.
On you. To change your worldview about the most important thing in life for women. I must have been something.
Are you trying to just like, oh God, what are you trying to do? You want us to take it out now? You don't want this to happen in peace. Why are you looking for violence from nowhere?
Oh my goodness. Could you just allow me?
There
is this proverb my dad used to share with me when I was a kid. He said, I'm going to share it in Igbo. He said that, Ngwere. Do you know what is Ngwere? Ngwere shi nelu oshishi danala kwafanala. Boom. Lanya na kari, lanya na kekbe. Onye na akro ya aka. Asina onye ga-eto ya. Ya eto onwe ya.
So blow your own trumpet.
Yeah.
Is that what you're doing?
The lizard jumped off the Iroko tree and fell flat with its tummy.
Survived it.
With a bang on the ground. Looked to the left and looked to the right.
There was no one
and
applauding.
There was no cheer, no applause. And the lizard said, if nobody applauded for me, I'm going to applaud myself. So
you applaud
blow your
yourself.
own trumpet, brother. The floor is yours.
I'm done talking.
This is Besty and Smoke podcast.
Talking the BS.
So we're talking about the difference between dating and marriage, because a lot of people tend to confuse
the two.
Okay, and we're going to talk from our own experience how these two things were different for us. Okay, first dating and then being married. How were they similar and how were they different? Now, what experiences did you have during, the dating period that changed for you? Because when you look at, begging your pardon, when you look at the differences, there are quite a list of differences you could think about. The change, the shift in commitment. When you are dating, you're not really committed. You can't.
Yeah.
You probably feel like I can't.
For you to leave.
The door is
not that in marriage. You
cannot
can't
leave. Yeah.
But
the commitment. If the commitment in dating is 10%,
yeah,
it's 100% or close to that in marriage, because you feel like you are a team now. You guys are partnering up. You have the same vision. You're headed in the same direction. So it's like when you're running a business partnership, so if it fails, you fail.
You're in it together.
Yeah.
So it's more permanent.
So you have to do whatever you have to do to keep it alive, to keep it afloat. But in dating a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, it doesn't quite happen like that. I mean, people feel like they can always move.
I think sometimes in a marriage, okay, when you up and you want to leave, whether kids are involved or not, you owe your partner an explanation. You know, you have to tell the person, I don't want this marriage anymore. And you both have to agree that, okay, you know what, you're calling it quit. Or maybe if you're filing a divorce, it's not just one person signing the divorce. Both of you have to agree. But in dating, you can up and I'm done. You're moving on.
And most people also up and leave the marriage sometimes. And they don't bother with divorce or anything. They feel like I'm tired.
There is something binding you two together. It's not just, you know, the law. It's also like if you're someone who went through the church, it's also the church. It's also like there are so many things binding you two together. So it's not something like dating you can up and leave like that. Yeah. Even if you up and leave, you're still married to this person. Under the law you are, unless you guys divorced.
So it has to be an effort, like a concrete thing you have to do to break the bond.
Yes.
So there's a bond that exists in marriage between the two parties. Of course, yeah, you could have emotional bonds in your dating relationship, okay, but it goes beyond that. And that's why people want that. Otherwise, nobody will want to go through the whole ceremony.
Prepare for the whole cake.
Because they want that commitment. They want that space. It's like a safer space, a space where you know that we are in this together. We are a team. We are playing for the same vision.
Yes.
And if we fail, we fail together. If we succeed, we succeed together. But that commitment is not always there. And also, when you're married, you can literally die for each other. Now, depending on the level,
because marriage doesn't guarantee that someone will be playing for you or someone will be on your team. I've seen marriages where you are playing for, you know, the betterment of both of you, but the person is bent on, you know, disrupting the growth you're trying to build. So yes, marriage is not a guarantee that someone will do good or do right by you. That's not it.
Yeah.
So I think it takes two people who have the same goals, who have the same principles, who have the same ambition,
intentions,
who their goals align with each other to actually work together to achieve, like, you know, the dream team. They say the
teamwork makes the dream work.
Yes, makes the dream work. Thank you. So you need that person who would want to make it work. It's like a tango. You don't tango alone.
That's right.
It takes two. So if it's just you, you can't make it work. It's now like you just doing it by yourself. So the marriage ain't working. So if the marriage has to work, you need that person who you're in it with you to make it work.
But somebody might tell you that you do not need a piece of paper signed to be committed. All right. Especially think about people who are cohabiting. They're having children together, right? They're doing everything together. It looks like a marriage, smells like a marriage, feels like a marriage, but it lacks that legality.
That's what I'm about to say, because
of marriage, and they would tell you that there is no difference.
Yeah.
Now the thing that's different, right, is the fact that if it's so easy to be married, why didn't you do it? But because you do not want the entire commitment, you do not want the entire baggage.
Yeah.
There are things you want to avoid. Yeah. Believe it or not, you may not want to agree to this. You may say, "Hey, no," but it's true.
It's the truth, because you want to pick and choose.
Yeah.
It's like when people preach that particular verse of the Bible that benefits, you know, the agenda they are trying to push.
So you say, we are committed, we die for each other. It's not true. There is one thing you are trying to avoid, and that's why you did not go that last extra mile to finish it off, because you want the door to be slightly open.
Yes, and let's say that when you do that, it gives your spouse entitlement.
Guarantee.
Like they are entitled to some amount of, you know, stuff when it concerns you.
Yeah. And of course, somebody might say, especially Western people, Westerners might say that, that their understanding of cohabitation when you're having children, that they are also entitled to one another. They have obligations.
But here it's not the same.
Yeah, not necessarily that. But the thing is, the point I'm trying to make is that, right? If there is nothing you are trying to shy away from, you would have gone all the way and called it a marriage.
Instead of just
But you did not want to do that because
playing it safe.
You are playing it safe. You know, marriage says for better,
for worse, to death do us apart.
Yeah, you do not want that. So you're picking the good sides, the sides that benefit you, and you're presenting the argument that you have everything. Oh, I don't care about a piece of paper. You do care about it. But it frightens you. That's why you are just playing it safe. Yeah.
While you were talking, I was thinking about when we're dating before we got married.
Yeah.
I knew that you were for me. You proved that you were for me.
Okay.
So I felt then, because I'm trying to justify why, someone would say it's the same thing for them, and it might be the truth. Because how I felt then, prior to us getting married, I felt like you were for me. You did things that showed like, you were for me. So if we were not married right now, I don't think that feeling would have changed.
What I'm trying to say is that marriage, the institution of marriage, the environment, rather, not the institution, the environment of marriage, okay, puts certain obligations on you.
But I'm saying it's more of the society accepting that this is now legal. This is because I felt solid with you. And if we were still going on like that till now, I would still feel like people who are married are not different from us.
It's not true. It's yeah, of course. It's a valid. It's a valid feeling.
So when people who are they're into cohabitation, they have kids, and they tell you if it's the same thing for them. I think it's more of society not wanting to believe that it's the same thing for them than them who are in it.
I don't think it's entirely the same thing. Now, if we were dating, okay, and we continued to the relationship changed into
co-parenting,
cohabitation, right? I do not think that I would make your parents my parents. I would make your family my priority.
It
would be just you.
General thing or a you thing?
I think it might be a me thing. I'm just speaking for myself. It's going to be you and I.
So I wouldn't be obligated to also make your parents my parents.
Yeah. So there's no obligation for me to extend any obligation, because relationship is different from obligation, right? Relationship is when you have interactions.
Yeah.
Okay. Obligations are when you have a duty.
Yeah.
To do.
And what?
A duty to carry out towards someone. Now, I will not. They are not going to be my in-laws who are also related to me.
Feel you as their in-law, their son-in-law.
So
the relationship,
the reality, the environment of in-lawship
wouldn't be there.
Okay, makes them my relations, my relatives, and it makes me have an obligation, a duty towards them. So if they are hurting, You're hurting.
So it's more like they're your parents now by marriage.
So
I guess.
Now your siblings are also my siblings. If they're hurting, I am hurting. When you cohabit, there are places you can't go.
Yes, and make claim.
And there are certain things that will not be expected
from you. And certain respect that will not be accorded to you as well.
Maybe.
Certainly.
I'm positive.
This is vice versa. Like you as a man, certain respect will not be accorded to you, maybe from the man's family or from the woman's family or from the woman's side. And the same to the woman. There's certain respect that you will not be getting I'm
really talking about the Western idea of cohabitation, where the tide of society is moving away from the whole idea, the original idea of family. Okay. Now you have people who get together, they stay together, they have children, right? And they get separated. And they tell you that marriage is not really important. Now, of course, I'm not trying to invalidate that feeling. If you say marriage is not important to you, that's okay.
It's your priority.
Okay? But when you say your cohabitation,
and it's the same thing as marriage.
it's the same thing
No,
as
it's
marriage.
not.
That's where I
have an issue.
I have an issue
Yeah.
as an African.
As an African,
Yeah.
okay, to know, okay, yeah, people actually cohabitate here, but still, there's still some of, the negative impact it's going to have.
No. Here in Africa, if you're living in that environment where you're not really married, but you're having children, there is a lot of baggage that comes with it. Okay.
Okay.
Now in the Igbo culture,
the child is not even yours.
The children that come out of that union,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah,
they
it's
do not belong to you because you have not
paid the
carried
right
out
price.
the necessary traditional and cultural obligations towards the family of the woman. So that union is not recognized by the culture. And it's a shameful thing for any man
Or woman.
or woman, for that matter, to live within or in such a union.
Yeah.
Right? It also rubs off on the children because you might, culture can be a really weird thing, and it could be unkind. And I'm talking about the children now.
Yeah,
they
it's
did
going
not
to
bring
be-
this on themselves,
it's going to be
okay?
difficult
But
for them.
it's because of the actions. I was about to say irresponsible actions of their parents, who did not do the right thing.
And expose
So
them to...
that will expose them to the ridicule of being had out of wedlock, because that's what it's ultimately going to be seen as. Like they were just had outside of marriage, and within the core African society, that is not right. And no matter how we try to move towards westernization and all of that, we have to remember that we're Africans first. Okay. And of course, individuals like myself, I want to believe that I can rise above the chains of society and certain chains of culture and all of that. But I should not delude myself that a tree will make a forest. A tree does not make a forest. I still exist. I still live as a member of an African society. So whether I feel like the norms and the values apply to me or not, it's immaterial, because they do apply to me.
Yes, they do.
This is Besty and Smoke podcast.
Talking the BS.
Another difference when you are dating and when you're married, right? The jamboree ends. The jamboree of dating. When you are dating, when a guy is dating a girl, okay, and I'm trying to impress you, let you feel my
Were you
steez.
trying to impress me?
I'm not really that guy, Like a lot of guys want to spend money on you, okay? Tell you that they have this that they do not have. They want to put up an appearance.
That's why I asked, were you really that guy?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not that guy. Yeah,
Yes, you weren't.
this is all me, right? But it's not always like that. We live in a culture where men feel like they are not enough, that they have to bring something else to the table. And it's not entirely their fault, because we also exist in a society where a man is supposed to provide. So a man coming to a woman has to show that he has the capacity to provide. And that tends to push him towards
Overdoing things.
going over the top and trying to show that I can protect, I can provide. And because you're trying to persuade this woman that you can do all of these things, sometimes you misrepresent yourself and you show things that are not true about you.
You go to do pass yourself.
Yeah, you do pass yourself. And then when they now begin to tell you, oh yeah, now, Oga, continue, you're not going to do again. So that's the thing. Now, there's always that jamboree, top of the line lifestyle, spending money, burning cash just to impress that lady during the dating period. But when you get married, you now have to face reality. And when you raise a woman's expectations, what do you expect? She's going to ask you for those things you've promised. It's like you made a promise.
So
to her.
is that all that happens? Is it just about the expenses? I think there is more to the whole
Jamboree.
because when you're single, you have this independence, you have this freedom of, making decision without, it's like if you're considering the other party, you're doing it because you want to, be respectful, because you want to consider their feelings, but not really because they have, some have a say, okay, depending on what decision. But when it regards you,
Yeah.
like it's for your own good. For instance, you get a job somewhere, a high paid job, but then you had to leave, the vicinity you're in or something. You're trying to move your career. You're trying to elevate. It's going to be difficult having long distance, and they will not feel this need to like hold you back.
I think that's part of the commitment side of things. When I mention jamboree, I mean the partying. I mean the times when things are freestyle.
When you have that idea that, okay, you know what, it's a fun thing, or it's a easygoing thing, it's a smooth ride, it's
no strings attached.
No strings attached.
This is Besty and Smoke podcast.
Talking the BS.
When you were talking earlier, I don't know if I should put this out, but yeah, I was recalling the first huge fight we had after our marriage. I can't even remember what that fight was about, but guy, you change them for me. Let me tell you something. It got to a point I was asking myself, maybe I should just call it, because I couldn't tell why the change of character. It's like things I did before that I just got away with. I mean, he did not let me get away with it.
Let me jump in real quick. I think I understand where you're going with this.
I wanted to ask, because I really want to ask you a question. What happened? Because, okay, yes, I know I'm hot-headed. Okay, just slightly a wild cat.
Are you answering the question?
No, I'm not answering the question, but I'm trying to own up to, yes, I know, because my mom said that you spoiled me during our relationship, but were you trying to prove a point?
Are you saying that I changed from the way I was during our dating times?
Yeah, because you changed a bit, not really changed. You were like, you never let things go. It was like you were trying to exercise a certain degree of power or something. I didn't know. Okay. But it was intense.
Quickly, I think I get what you're trying to say.
So what happened?
I know we had a huge thing at the beginning, and I did even call my sister to tell her that I just might call up this marriage.
Which your sister reached out to me. I was like, you know what, let it burn.
I mean, you kept saying like,
I did.
You kept going like you did not care. Like, let's destroy, But okay, the question you asked me.
Can I say something? Can I clear something? Prior to the marriage, I was more of, okay, I wanted to talk things out. I would come to you, let's talk things out. But that period, I felt hurt because you were changing in character. Like the man I knew, I felt like that wasn't the man I was getting. And if you felt like, based on what people were saying, that, when people get married, things change. A man, is meant to exercise his, authority as the husband. I felt like you knew me and you knew my character. You knew my tendency before we got married. You agreed to this. So why are you trying to change that? So that's why I wasn't really open to talking it out. I was given the body language. I didn't care, but I cared, for goodness sake.
All right, let me try and answer this very quickly. Okay. And this is the best way to actually talk about the difference between dating and being married. Now, while we were dating, I felt like you could do your own thing. You could run your own show, right? I did not expect any obligations from you. But once we got married, I expected certain things from you. I expected respect, the same that I would give to you, not as your boyfriend, but as your husband, because we were no longer dating. We're no longer boyfriend, girlfriend. We had become husband and wife, and our roles had changed. I should be the head of our family. Now, you said that while we were dating, I never interfered. I never tried to prove a point. I never tried to control. I never tried to set boundaries or any of those things. Yeah, because I did not have any authority to do that. You were a free agent. I was a free agent, even in spite of the fact that we were dating. But being married is an entirely different thing. I had to step up and be the man in the relationship.
While we're dating, was I ever the man in the relationship?
I never cared what you were.
I always spoke to you before I made certain decisions because I believed it also had a lot to do with you. I feel like you went about it the wrong way.
There were different layers to this thing.
I wasn't really
No.
that needed to be tamed.
You changed. Let me tell you how you changed. I was hoping that I wouldn't have to bring this up. Now, you were hanging out with a certain friend of yours who was a mutual friend. And this was a lady I interacted with. I knew her opinion on things, on marriage, on relationship, on submission.
Mm-hmm.
Submitting to a man was a no-no for her, as she expressed those views over and over. At the point she did say to me that her dad was her God. She said her father was her God. And I asked her, if your dad is your God, what about your husband? What is your husband to you? I'm not saying that a woman's father shouldn't be important. There's a song by Camila Cabello about bringing a man to her dad. I can't remember the title of that song.
I remember the song. I know you're worried about my first boyfriend.
Yeah, my first love was the man I've ever first loved. She was talking about her dad being the man she ever loved, the first love of her life. And she's telling her dad, now I have someone else that you have to move over for and let him be the man in the center, in the middle of my life. Now, what I'm trying to say is, right? When a woman is single, her father is the central male figure in her life. And the father's duty is to provide and to protect. And when you get married, your husband automatically takes on that role of being your provider and your protector. And the same way you submitted to your dad is the way you submit to your husband.
If I'm okay, go on.
I'm talking about this lady.
Yeah, but based on what you said now, because of what she said now, this conversation was something you guys had.
Yeah.
I wasn't there.
Yeah, you
I
were
didn't know
not there.
about this conversation.
Yeah.
Now, don't you think this mutual friend of ours, it was you that her opinions, hold on,
okay.
It influenced you because you felt like you needed to put your foot down so I wouldn't have that idea, because I never for the love of me had that idea.
Now you were repeating.
I wasn't
No.
repeating.
You did not see it. I saw it.
I think it was more of you trying to put your foot down before, like, how you say you squash something before it even like grows, like you kill something before the idea. I felt like, sorry, sir, I felt like that was what you were doing.
Stop saying, sir.
Okay.
Because you don't call me, sir.
I
right?
don't call you, sir, but I feel like, okay, you don't like me calling you darling. You don't like me calling you honey.
Oh, God.
Sorry. But I felt like you were trying to put out a flame that wasn't burning. Because prior to our marriage, you knew I was, strong-headed. And you knew you could always reason with me. You knew you could always talk to me. But you were not even like all for talking. You were trying to be like you're my Lord and Master. And let me tell you one thing.
I was no such
you were.
thing.
You were trying. That was attitude you were giving me. And that was what everybody was advising me, that, you know what, I should let it play out. I should actually let it be because we are married. And that's how it should be. And at a point, my mom even had to tell me that during our dating period, our relationship, you spoiled me. You did things that normally some guys don't even get to do for their. So if you're expecting him to still do that while you guys are married, no. You have to sit up. So you remember how the fight was settled? I had to literally beg because I felt like, you know what? I had to find peace in my marriage. I've not started yet. And I want to be a homemaker. That was a decision I made. And in my mind, everybody was trying to tell me, calm down, calm down. Say, you know what? Men are like this. Men are like this. But I was like, do you really want to let it burn?
Listen, I think I'm going to say this again. When we were dating, I didn't try to meddle in your business. I didn't try to make any decisions for you. Okay? And I felt maybe your mom was right. And I felt you carried that individuality, that atmosphere of you doing your thing, and you carried it into the marriage, right? Remember, I did tell you that you did not respect me. I said it over and over again because the vibe was you could do it on your own terms. But that is not what a marriage is. You have to let me come in, right? And also share in the decision making and also input in the process. But you felt like I
could do it by myself.
Yeah, you could just like, it's you. It's no longer you.
But I felt like you went about it the wrong way.
It's no longer just you. It's the two of us. It's a partnership. It's a relationship now that's higher than, just being a boyfriend and a girlfriend. If we have to build a family, right, where I am the head and you are the neck, then we have to change our roles, right? And I like this analogy where I am the head and you are the neck. I cannot move, right, without you moving me. Look, there's something women do not understand about submission. Okay, it's not about kneeling down. Wait. It's not about kneeling down before your husband or a man. It's about being powerful, but choosing not to act out your powers. It's about letting the man feel in control when you are in control. Now, that's where the analogy of head and neck comes in. Now, the head carries the eye. Mm-hmm. The head carries the brain. The head carries the mouth. Now, the head speaks for the body, sees for the body, right? Thinks for the body. But the neck, before I can see what's behind me, before I can have a vision of what's behind me, my neck has to turn me, the head. So if you should allow me to just be the head, it's a figurehead. You be the neck. You be the leader. Now, since we have changed the way we look at things, right? Have we had any issues since then?
No, we haven't.
Because...
But I keep on saying this.
Yeah.
The way you went about it was, I will still say today, was wrong.
Desperate times.
It wasn't a desperate. That's okay.
Desperate measures. We live in a social media world, right? We live in a social media world where look. If a man is not a man, if you don't become a man in your marriage right at the onset, you can't change anything along the way.
So do you believe what I said about there not being an issue, okay, with maybe now somebody influenced my attitude, or somebody said something that, I changed from the person, because the person I was prior to our marriage was the person I was. Even in the marriage at the beginning.
Not entirely.
It was not entirely.
I was seeing aspects of you that were different. The same way you say you were seeing aspects of me that were different. Okay, I was also seeing aspects of you, that were
aspects of
different.
Me that were different that you saw prior to the marriage.
Yeah,
they were there. They have always been there. You explained it better when you said I did my own thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, my mistake was to think that I could actually still do my own thing even in marriage. And when you say do my own thing, I actually wanted you. It wasn't like do my own thing that was going to hurt you. It was not bringing it to your attention and feel like, okay, I could make the decision and then carry you along, which that shouldn't be the case, which I actually understand. And right now, we are better off than we were when we started this.
Let me ask you.
I need to say this. Okay. One thing about submission is there is this tranquility
it brings
when you are willing to let someone lead and you follow. And one thing I had to say is it took a lot of power for me to actually do that.
Am I really leading? I'm not really leading, right? I'm not leading. I'm not leading anywhere. Now let me tell you, and this is for the ladies out there, okay? A man doesn't necessarily want to lead you anywhere. Just give the man, okay?
Wait,
Give the man the idea
Why did you just?
that he is leading.
Was that the way you looked at me?
And
like,
go ahead and do your own thing. Now, men are full of ego. Men are proud beings.
So
All they need is that idea that they are the head.
okay, but actually,
And that's it. So
so
you could just they run the guy. You just they run do the guy in mathematics. They do your now you see the woman is the head of the family. The man is just a figurehead.
I feel
Now
like
a woman who
I-
is smart.
I
What a
don't
woman
talk
who
too
is
much.
smart does
Okay.
is right. Okay, so you are the head.
Can you not
Oh, yeah,
put
be
us
the
out?
head.
No, please, just not. You're talking too much. You're putting us out there.
So there you go.
Oh, no,
After
wait,
putting
wait,
us out
wait,
there, you do not want us to be put out there. You see where we're doing? What we're doing?
Wait,
Okay.
please, wait,
Yeah.
wait, hold on.
I feel like I've been painted as the bad guy.
No, you're not the bad. It's like, hold
and
on.
I feel like I have to
Yeah.
redeem
Yes,
myself.
simply put,
right?
okay. Simply put, it's like I remember the day when we traveled to, the village, and this guy was talking about, the house, the outside, and something. You were explaining something to him, and then when you told him to go and meet Madame, because when the guy saw me, okay, he felt like one kind of tough or that kind,
Okay.
stuff like. So when I told him to go and meet Madame, it kind of gave me rep.
I can't remember when that
You
happened.
don't remember shit. Sorry. Sometimes you see, it made me feel good. Like I meet Madame, so it felt like, oh, so last now the Madame will go, decide what
Made the
goes,
decision,
yeah,
right?
what goes. So it made me feel like, okay. So he now came to me with that respect he should have put on my name.
There you go. So what a man wants is just the respect. Once you respect your
When
man,
you're
your
talking about
husband,
the kitchen.
right? Okay. I still can't remember. Once you let the man so once you let the man be the head, okay,
Mhm.
your job is done.
Okay.
The man will just let you run the show and you won't have any problem. You have a problem with the man when you begin to rub shoulders, you want to show your power. The man will be like, we die here. It's just the nature of the thing. And it's sad that women don't get this. It's only a very tiny percentage of women who have figured this thing out. That the best way to have a man in your pocket is to let him assume that he's in leadership.
I don't know what you're
What
talking
an
about.
awkward silence. This is Besty and Smoke podcast.
Talking the BS.
I think we have to
Wrap it up here.
wrap it up here
It's-
and continue. Maybe
the next
continue
episode.
and the next episode because we have gone beyond our time.
Yeah. So I don't think there should be any conclusion here. It's just going to tell you to make sure to check out the next episode
Yeah,
because
and do not forget to subscribe,
please.
to share, and to like,
comment.
to comment. Tell us how it's different. Okay, if you feel like marriage is the same, if you feel, we also mentioned cohabitation. If you feel like cohabitation is just the same as marriage, please mention that. Talk about that in the comments. If you feel it's not different,
Please
okay?
do mention
Please
that.
do.
And I
I
think-
will just might mention your comment on the next
yeah.
episode. Do follow us on social media. The handle is
Facebook.
at BS Podcast NG on Instagram, on Facebook, on
Twitter.
Twitter, on TikTok. That's at BS Podcast NG. One word.
I'm the B. He's the S.
Yeah, I'm the smoke and she is the B in the
BS.
BS. All right, so it's been the
I had a great time today. I
You did.
had a great time today. I felt like this was something I've been meaning to discuss with you.
Mhm.
Talk about.
It's been therapeutic for you.
It's been therapeutic. I'm always worried about this guy go carry me, like go
Where
should
you
be
don't know.
finish. They carry they go where I don't know. But for today, I feel what's the word when you feel elevated, when you feel like like something that be taken off your chest or your
you
shoulders.
feel unburdened,
Unburdened. Yes, I feel unburdened. I feel that way. So
relieved.
something, relieved. I feel that.
All right, so till the next time we are here on the Besty and Smoke podcast, aka the BS podcast. It's always a pleasure to hang with you. All right, like I said, subscribe, follow, like, share,
And if you have any
comment.
questions for us,
Yeah, if you have any questions you'd like to
do
ask,
ask.
please do that or share your own experiences. All right, we'll see you again when we see you again. Till then, have fun.
Ciao.
This is Besty and Smoke podcast.
Talking the BS.